Hello, this is a screencast about a technique for separating voice audio from in-game audio when doing screen caps of video games when you're also talking on voice chat. So we're going to use a nice little app called VoiceMeeter Banana for this. So if you search for VB-audio space banana, you'll find VoiceMeeter, VB Audio VoiceMeeter Banana. And so you just grab that from the download page. Here's the download link. You download it, you install it. It'll ask you to reboot. Once you've done that, if you look in your sound preferences, you'll have a couple of new input devices, VoiceMeeter Input, VoiceMeeter Auxiliary Input, and also a couple of new output devices, VoiceMeeter Output, VoiceMeeter Auxiliary Output. So once you launch VoiceMeeter, you'll see that it's a mixer, and it mixes these 5 inputs, 3 hardware inputs, 2 virtual inputs, across 5 outputs. 3 hardware outputs, 2 virtual outputs. So first we'll set my headset as the first hardware output under A1. That's just so that I can hear while I'm doing the recording. I'm going to set the first hardware input to my microphone on my headset. You can see my voice tripping the channel strip here. Now on each channel strip you have a set of buttons. Each button activates that output for that channel strip. So you can send to any combination of the 5 outputs from each channel strip. So the first one, which is my mic, is going to output B1, and you see output B1 lighting up over here. The next thing to do is to edit the voice chat settings. In this case, it's mumble. So in the audio output, I select VoiceMeeter Input. And if I turn on the audio cue notifications, you'll be able to see the beeps showing up on this first virtual input track over here. And I can hear it in my headphones because I have this output turned on, and it's coming through in the recording because I have B1 turned on. I could turn the volume down for the beeps or turn it back up again, whatever. So that's the audio voice chat. I'm going to turn the cue notifications back off. So then in the game, you go to the audio settings. In this case, World of Warcraft. In the sound, you choose the VoiceMeeter Auxiliary Input. So you use the input for the voice software, and I use the auxiliary input for the game. And once you do that, when you go back to your mixer, your game audio will show up on the right side of this virtual input, the second auxiliary input. And I can turn the game audio down and mix it with my or what have you. So this is pretty much good to go. One thing I will note is that if you have any other audio on your machine, such as iTunes or web browsers, I hear this in my headphones right now, but it's not coming through on the recording because the only thing in the recording is stuff coming through these 2 virtual outputs. So speaking of recording, if I look over here in Bandicam, in the video settings, under sound, there's 2 different places to select the soundtrack, a primary and a secondary. So you just select VoiceMeeter Output for one and VoiceMeeter Auxiliary Output for the other. And make sure this checkbox is unchecked so that each audio track, audio channel goes into a separate track when you record. Now for the purposes of the screencast, I do want them into the same, mixed down to the same track. But basically what this looks like, if you were to open up a file that had 2 audio tracks in it. In VLC, if I hit Control-I, opens up the information window. The codec tab, I can see I've got 2 audio tracks in here. And these will show up as discrete waveforms when you go to edit the video. Although do note that if you play it back with something like VLC, VLC maybe only wants to play 1 audio track at a time. So you have to choose which one you want when you play it back, either the game sound or the voice sound. To a video editor separately, so if there's some chatter that you don't want, editor separately, so if there's some chatter that you don't want, you can very easily. If there's some chatter that you don't want, you can very easily literally, so you can very easily cut that out without losing the game sound, or vice versa. Microphone and ventrilo, or whatever voice jack going, or whatever voice jack, how you use that. And microphone and ventrilo, or whatever voice jack go into B1. And that way you can focus on just voice chat if you want to, and leave the game audio turned down, or what have you. But